Each morning, real setups are broken down with entry strategies and technical reasoning behind every trade. This is today's best trade setups with Verified Investing.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's best trade setups. My name is Benjamin Poole, head trader here at Verified Investing. And what a sell-off in the markets yesterday. I was actually anticipating a little bit more of a bid to the upside, especially after the sell-off on Friday. However, that didn't happen. I gave a couple different levels. Unfortunately, those didn't play out as anticipated on a couple of them. However, ORCL played out perfectly, not only once, not only twice, but could have played 3 times on the charts. Let's go ahead and just dive into the charts. The first one I'm going to go over is SMH. It did have a nice fall yesterday. Now there's a key support level. It's a gap fill in the charts that I'm identifying. And then I'm going to go over a couple different charts that I'm noticing today based on yesterday's price action as well. So the first one, I'm not sure what's going on. Remove ad. Okay, here we go. The SMH. The first thing I'm going to notice, or I'm noticing, is this upsloping trend line that we've had drawn in the charts. This is from the lows of 14th of March 2022. I've connected this pivot low to this pivot top, and drawn it all the way through this price action as well. Right now, currently, price action has gotten rejected from this level every time it's hit. Now, I was anticipating it going up a little bit higher, right around $383. However, it got rejected at this this pivot top, and now we're in a sell-off. I'm going to go ahead and zoom into the charts a little bit more for you. Now that we've gotten a couple days worth of sell-offs after a pullback at $374.10, I do anticipate the next level at $340.10. This is a gap in the charts. It's not a huge gap, but it is still a gap in the charts. So there should be some buyers who are interested in taking a long position at this level. So when price action gets down to $340.01, this is where I'm likely to pick up a long play. Everything is really dependent on price and velocity. If price ends up consolidating right above that level and it's towards the end of the day, let's say 3 o'clock, that trade is no longer interesting to me. Most likely what's going to happen is it's going to float all the way down, and then towards the end of the day, it's just going to hover right around that level. And so I don't have the volatility and the time of day in order to enter that trade. So these trades need to be executed at least within the first hour and a half to 2 hours. So again, SMH 340, as long as it's there pretty quickly, this would be a decent sell-off on the SMH. It would be a 3% move. And for the SMH, that's a pretty big, pretty big drop. Oracle stock that we were mentioning yesterday, this first long level I had was $185.63. And I had mentioned that this was a more aggressive level. I did not enter this trade. I did wait for the secondary trade, or the secondary level, at $181.52. It actually got a nice bounce off that. Let's go ahead and zoom into the charts, or actually zoom out of the charts, show you what that pivot top was, or the reason that I liked $181.52. See this big pivot? This was a major pivot, and this is what I look for. I look for major pivots in the stock. This gives us an idea of where price action is going to get support if it's above there, or it's going to be resistance if it's below there. And in this case, this was support. And this is why I entered this trade. It actually took like 2 minutes for me to get filled on this. I entered the trade, $181.52. I took it off the table at $182.52. Made a quick dollar, over $1,000 overall in this trade. And again, if you zoom in on the charts, you could have played this several different times. It hit this level, got a nice bounce, $3 bounce, pulled back, hit it again, and then again. As you can see, $181.52 is still really strong support. If it does break that level, you have this gap in the charts at $176.38. That is where I'm looking to go long today. This 181.52 is no longer on the table because it's already gotten a bounce off that level. So now if it flushes, again, 176.38. AVGO, I mentioned a long level. Here are my different levels. My first long level was 349.83. This was this upsloping trend line. I actually didn't take it at this level. It did get a decent bounce right before it. And so for me, that trade was off of the table. I actually lowered my entry price about $1. And then look at this. As soon as this upsloping trend line failed, it continued even lower. My secondary level was $340.20. It did get about a $3 bounce off that level. Let's go ahead and zoom into the 15-minute chart. 340.20 was that level. It did pierce this, did stop out on a 15-minute closing basis. And then price action got a nice bid, got almost a 1% bounce, almost $3 full from that level. Now that price action is underneath that level, we actually got to zoom back out and see where the next level support is. So this 340 is off the table now. 329.80. It's right above this the low end of this tail, but this is still a good green bar candle. Look at the move that that occurred off of this level. It was a 24% move, 25% move to the upside. This is going to be more of a major pivot. So to me, $329.80 is where I'm looking to go long on AVGO today. Basically, I'm looking for a pierce of $330. If it closes below this low pivot on a 15-minute closing basis, you could want to come back down to this gap fill at $324.37. Tesla is a stock that I've been monitoring. I'd gone over this a couple different times. First level was this midline of this parallel channel. It did get a decent rejection, not enough of a sustained move to take it all the way down to the lower end of this parallel channel. Then all of a sudden, price consolidated right underneath this resistance, and then we got a nice bid to the upside. I was mentioning my short level was $475.38. It did pull back to right below 470, and then all of a sudden, it started getting another bid to the upside. My next shortable level today, and this is an aggressive trade, is $488.33. So why that level? You've got this this all-time high at $488.33. This is going to be a major pivot in the charts. You did have some price consolidation underneath that level, so it's not going to be quite as strong as if price action went vertically into it. However, it is still a double top. It is likely to get rejected. If I'm going to trade this today at $488.33, I would add every $3, knowing that I've got the psychological level of $500 pierce, where price action could break through the all-time high, head up to $500, and then get this nice rollover to the downside. On a swing trade basis, this was my initial level at right around $452, $453, the midline of this parallel channel. On a swing trade basis, I am still looking for a short at $525.07. I know I did have it around $520. However, based on price action, I have to move this because the trend line or this upsloping parallel channel moves as well. So now I'm looking at if it gets there by the 25th of December, 2025, 525.07 is where I'm going to short. And this, again, is a swing trade. If it got up there today, obviously, I would take it for a day trade as well, and then hold on to some of my position and look for a move to the downside, at least to the midline of this parallel channel. Goldman Sachs, we're still monitoring this, still have these two upsloping trend lines on GS where we've gotten this pullback, still hasn't confirmed below this low pivot area. However, this is a nice reversal candle. If price action does get back up to $920, I would short this on a day trading basis. However, I still like this for a swing trade, looking for a possible downside target of, for $745. That would be where I would likely take my profits. 10, 15, 20% would be a great opportunity. NOW was another one that I had mentioned. It was trading right above this $806.64 level pre-market. And then all of a sudden it opened up below this. I didn't monitor the amount of shares that were traded in the pre-market, and it was actually pretty low. When you get a stock that has low volume and it's floating down, there's not enough volatility. There's not enough momentum to push that up. And so what happened was it actually got below that and hit that $766.83 level before getting a little bit of a bounce. Again, there was not a lot of volatility. You could have taken this at 766.83 and made a decent profit, not a huge profit, but still a good profit because of this gap fill in the charts. And this is why I try to give you multiple levels. The first level, if it breaks, you always have a secondary level to possibly enter a trade. This didn't end up hitting there until the afternoon session. And so this was not on my radar. I did not trade NOW at $766.83. This will be the line in the sand. If it starts breaking below that, you're looking for a downside move to about $681 on NOW. Baidu was another stock that I mentioned yesterday. Same thing. Price action didn't get into this $118.69 level until in the afternoon. The gap still played out. Didn't get a huge bounce, still got a bounce, but this is the beauty of technical analysis. You look for these gaps in these charts, and then you can get some either, if you're going into a gap fill from the top, the gap fill usually get a bounce. If you're coming from the underside, you usually get a pullback. Now, my next level on Baidu, if this support level at 118.69 fails, you're looking for this upswing trend line. You're looking at about $115. If this trend line breaks, you're coming down to about $107. And then ultimately, for me, $101.96 is where Baidu is likely heading back to. All right, last chart that I'm going to go over is APLD. I've got a couple different trend lines in the charts. So this was basically capping the price action to the upside. APLD has this double top, this pivot top, all-time highs, secondary pivot right here, and I've connected this trend line. This will be the max upside until price can confirm above this. If price does decide it wants to head higher, you're going to get about a 43% move to the upside, but then your shortable level is $32.92. Based on the fact that it's gotten beaten up so much, you've got this secondary trend line, which is an upswing trend line, connects to pivot lows from the 29th of July, 2025. Secondary pivot low. I've connected those two and drawn this trend line. Here is where price could get to. This long level, aggressive level is $21.27. However, this low pivot, not only is it a low pivot with a major pivot level, but it also connects this upswing trend line. So that gives it additional support at $19.01. If price does decide it wants to break down below that, your next level of support is going to be $15.42 on APLD. So a couple different charts that we're monitoring on the for not only day trades, but potential swing trades. That's what I have for you. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for tuning in at 8:45 every single morning and going live with me. You guys are amazing. If you guys are getting something out of this, please make sure you're liking, you're following, you're subscribing, and sharing with your friends so that way they get this market action as well. At 11:30, we're going to be going live with Wrecked or Rich. It's a live crypto show where me, Lawton Ho, and Gareth Soloway are going to be trading crypto. We're either going to get wrecked or we're going to get rich. It's an exciting episode. You guys don't want to miss that, so stay tuned for that. And also, Gareth Soloway is going to be going into the news that happened overnight in the after hours with President Trump. He was talking about some things. You guys don't want to miss that in less than 3 minutes. My trading game plan is going to be on fire today. We'll see you guys next time in the charts. You guys have a great rest of your day. Take care.
Welcome to Crypto Combat, Wrecked or Rich.
Last episode, the markets didn't just move, they hit back.
I am short LUNA2 USD.
I'm going to short Ethereum at $3,300, 150x leverage.
Guys, I've already shorted Polkadot here. I've done 2 shorts already.
With 45 minutes on the clock, the pros went full throttle.
Okay, I'm out over $660 on that one trade. Love it.
Ben landed the fastest profit in show history.
It's okay. I'm not worried. I mean, I'm only out of the money $323. I just need to pull back here on Ethereum and we'll be good to go.
This is still strong. It's out of the money about $460 right now.
I need more time.
But Gareth, he went all in and nearly all out.
Okay, one of these trend lines has to work. And I'll delete the trend line, so you won't even know.
As the charts heated up, so did the trash talk.
It's gonna come down. It's gonna hit my level. Dude, give me 5 more minutes.
All right, give us the final tally, folks. It looks like you're hanging on. Close those trades. I see those eyes. Close those trades.
And when the final seconds ticked away, everything came down to the wire. New trades, new chaos, new wreckage. Next episode, Gareth joins again. Join us Tuesday at 11:30 a.m. only on Crypto Combat, Wrecked or Rich.